All right, guys, thanks for watching the video. Our final example today is going to be to use the quadratic formula that we've been talking about to look at this quadratic and find our x-intercepts. Without further ado, let's go ahead and do that. All right, so the equation was y equals 2x squared minus 7x plus 2. And remember, this is going to be our A term, this is going to be our B term, and this is going to be our C term. So our A term will be 2, our B term will be -7, and our C term will be 2 as well. This right here is the quadratic formula, and all we have to do is take these values and plug them into each of these letters. So -7 is going to be plugged in for our negative B, and we know that a negative and a negative will cancel out and give us a positive. So we're going to put +7 in that location because negative negative equals positive. All right, we have another b right here. So we're going to plug in -7 into our b term. Next up, we have -4 times a times c. So -4 remains the same. A is +2. So we're going to plug that in for our a. And our c is also +2. So we're going to plug that in for our c as well. Last but not least, we have that all over 2a. And 2 times a is just 2 times 2, which of course will be 4, but we'll get there eventually. All right, we have everything plugged in. As you recall, I said we need to start underneath. We're going to start with the exponent, then we're going to do the multiplication. So let's just start off with -7 squared. Well, what is -7 squared? I can actually copy this. All right, we know -7 squared. We can go ahead and do 7 negative, let's put it in parentheses. Actually, I don't see parentheses here, so I'm going to let you guys in on a trick. Anytime you're squaring a number, you don't need to include the negative. So for this one, I'm just going to call it +7. 7 squared gives us 49. So we're going to take this -7 squared and change that just to 49. All right, next up we have -4 times 2 times 2. So let's do that real fast. We have -4 times 2 times 2, and that gives us -16. So we're going to change this -4 times 2 times 2 to just be -16. Alrighty. Well, we also know that 2 times 2 on the bottom, we could just change that to 4 since 2 times 2 is 4, and we do know that. And now we can go ahead and take this equation and solve the inside. So 49 minus 16, 49 minus 16, it's going to give us 33. So we can change this guy. Apparently we can't change it very quickly, so this is going to give us 33. All right, well, it's going to be real helpful for us to find out what the root of 33 is. So let's go ahead and do that. 33 square rooted. It's going to give us about 5.74. So let's change that to 5.74. All right. Well, from here, all we have to do is separate these two because we have a plus and a minus. We're just going to rewrite this as two different equations. All right, so we'll start with the plus. And we'll do the minus. All right, from here we just have to add and then subtract, and then whatever we get there we will divide by 4. So let's take 7 and add 5.74. 7 plus 5.74 gives us 12.74. So let's change the top to 12.74. All right, for the second one, 7 minus 5.74. So 7 minus 5.74 is going to give us 1.26. 1.26. All right, the only thing we have to do now is just divide by 4 for each of these. Let's start with the first one. So 12.74 divided by 4 is going to give us 3.185. Let's call it 3.19. All right, for the second one, 1.26 divided by 4. 1.26 divided by 4 is approximately 0.32. So let's call that 0.32. All right, we have both of our values for x. The last thing we have to do is just put a 0 behind each of them. So I'm just going to go ahead and do comma 0. Over here, comma 0. And we're done. We have both of our x-intercepts. Now we can go ahead and improve this just by opening up Desmos and plugging this in just to make sure that we have the right values here. So let's do that. All right, I believe it was y equals 2x squared minus 7x plus 2. And let's take a look at these values. We've got approximately 0.314. Over here, we have approximately 0.319. So even though this one's a little bit off from ours, it's still pretty darn close, I'd say. All right, guys, that's how you do it. Thanks for watching.